Hello,
Hey guys,
everybody.
what's good?
My
Here cooking
name
my ham
is
salad.
Altana, and welcome back to another conspiracy theory iceberg breakdown thingamajigs. Let's chat thing. It's been a while. When's the last time we did
Alright.
this? July?
Donut boy. I don't fucking know, Tono.
I think it was July. I could check, but I'm not going to. Here today we got our buys. We got, of course, the Hunter Fam Solid Man, and then we also got that guy. He's the guy that stalks me. And then we also have a Discord bot. Say hi to the Discord bot.
Say hi, Tono. Tono, I'm looking at you. Say hi.
Who's the super cool cop?
You're above me on my screen, so I'm gonna just like. Anyways, yeah. I don't really have to say much because you already know what's going down. Here is Vince. Are you here to join us in watching conspiracy theories?
I couldn't be
Special guest.
no, I'll be your I'll be your what is it? The gameplay in the background.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Dedicated Astolfo, apparently.
Alright.
Oh, God.
So
Yeah,
we're back.
You can't even. Oh God, you're the one with the Astolfo photo here.
So we're back. We got Conspiracy Theory Iceberg Part 5, Part 2 of 2. And yeah. Make sure to go check out Wendigo and subscribe to his channel. I already did. And make sure to like his videos, because that would be pretty neato. I'm actually going to save his whole playlist whenever this is done. And he actually has said before that he's going to make a completed version where it just has all of the conspiracy theory videos all mixed into one. So I'm probably going to most likely just do that one. But yeah, make sure you go subscribe to Wendigoon and see the original video. A link will be down in the description below. And are you guys ready?
Tono's using OBS for the first time.
No, I've been using OBS for ages. It just doesn't work on games, but I'm going to do a test. So we'll see.
I know how to make it work. Anyway.
Anyways, 3, 2, now.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Tier 5 Part 2 of the Iceberg. Sorry for the bit of the hiatus. I saw some were concerned, and no, I'm not dead. With the holidays, I've been doing a lot of traveling, seeing family, stuff like that. But now I am back in the command center and ready to get this through. So I hope you enjoy, and as always, thank you for watching. Mental problems theory is one of those that's kind of vague and could have different meanings. Given the context for the rest of the items on this tier, I believe it's referring to the theory that those with mental issues are not actually suffering deficiencies, they are instead suffering from advanced physiology, and that whatever they're experiencing is the newfound roots of the next step in human evolution. So basically those who experience mental illness are just using an advanced physiology than the rest of us. How we...
Okay, this I actually heard of before.
Yeah.
So
Same.
this whole thing is a very interesting topic. Do people with mental disorders actually have mental disorders, or are they just the next step in human evolution? We actually see a little bit of that in the what's the newest Predator movie? Is it just called Predator?
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually see a little bit of that kind of thing happen in Predator, where there's a autistic kid, right? Was it an autistic kid or?
Yeah, he was autistic.
Yeah, and he's actually the next step in human evolution. So yeah, we actually see this in movies every now and then. That the fact that that's an actual conspiracy theory, it makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I could see that being true. It just
I can see that being true specifically because of the fact that now that we have, especially with things that make you hyperactive, especially because we have a lot of instant gratification nowadays. Our brains are kind of just forming to receive that instant dopamine, I suppose.
let me just
Also, we have a lot of people who have autism and other such things. A lot of sometimes they're really good at they're really good at certain skills, and that like part of their brain that isn't functioning as well, and one aspect is like being targeted or something else.
yeah. Me and Hunter used to actually know this one guy called John.
No, let's not dox him.
I mean,
Uh,
there's a
call
lot of
him-
people
we'll
called
call him
John,
Jane.
so.
Yeah, we'll call him
John
John.
is
We'll call this specific man John, even though his name definitely isn't John. That's for sure.
Also, why is it not recording the video correctly? What the? On
Because
my
you're gay.
end on OBS, it does not say I'm recording anything
gay.
correctly.
You're
Oh, that's
gay.
why.
Stop being gay.
Okay, so anyways, yeah,
gay. That's homophobic, Hunter.
you're homophobic. Anyways, but yeah,
No,
there's
it's
this
not.
one guy,
It's not
and
homo-
he used to know like a
not homophobic,
lot.
but
We'd be working on something, or we'd be making up these cool science fiction concepts, and he'd take one glance at it, and he'd be like, "Yo, you can make that better by doing this, 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 and this," and it was amazing. He was the coolest person there.
He was. He talked about snails a lot.
Yeah, interestingly enough.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to highway trolls.
Oh no.
I know how much you like trolls.
Trolls is in
All right.
reference to the
While
phenomenon
you're
that
going
occurs
through this, I'm
whenever
going to
you're
feed
riding
my
alone on the highway at
dogs.
night and begin to see
We
things
might as well wait
off
for
the
you
road
because we
or
wanted
just
we want to go through this
headlights.
together, sir.
No, Vince is my substitute. You take my bandana, sir.
He's not even watching the stream.
You take my
yeah.
bandana.
Oh, he is. Okay,
Take my-
okay, we're
take
good.
my
Like I said, I
bandana.
could just be your background gameplay if you want to swap.
You could be the gamer. All right, then we're good.
Let me get the background.
Highway
gameplay
trolls
going
is
now.
in reference to the phenomenon that occurs whenever you're riding alone on the highway at night and begin to see things
you see his
either
OS
running
to
off the
update.
road or just out of view of your headlights. What's interesting about this specific phenomenon is that several people report seeing the same things in the same areas, but it's not like a cryptid or Bigfoot as you traditionally think. Instead, it's these shared hallucinations that occur on dark roads at night, leading people to believe that while this may be a creature, it may also be a sort of fourth dimensional being that is only expressed during these sort of twilight moments. OOO, or object-oriented ontology,
All right,
is
there we go. I don't really know what to say about highway trolls, honestly. It's
I
interesting.
just heard of them, but they are
It's
interesting.
interesting. It's interesting, but it's also like it's literally just called the human mind is likes to imagine things.
Yeah, like most of it is just hallucinations, but what if?
Shared hallucinations. That's the bigger thing. Because
Ye-
seeing weird things in the edge of the headlight, that's just called your brain trying to make sense of like absolute out of like pitch black darkness.
But if
You know what
there's
happens
a bunch of people
Sleep
seeing the
paralysis
same
in a
thing,
nutshell.
then it gets called
Exactly.
into question.
Then it gets weirder.
Yeah.
When one person says I saw this thing, it's like, well, yeah, that happens. But if a bunch of people in the same area at the same time are seeing very similar things and reporting this,
That's not normal.
That's
Yeah,
not
like, Mothman is a great example of people seeing crap in one
Yeah.
place at one time.
Most, if not all, of the Mothman sightings were just people seeing things and not knowing what
Yeah.
to think about it. But with things like highway trolls or things like the world humming type noises,
Yeah, I remember.
those are shared through people all over the world. So it's just like,
Yeah.
is there really something happening, or is it just
Or
the mind?
yeah.
It's
I
probably
like to think the
the mind.
Oh, Hunter's back.
I'm thinking it's the mind.
Oh.
Of this.
I like to
It's
think that
probably a
people
mix
like
of
Mo-
your mind and maybe just like a small animal for highway trolls. That could be it.
and also maybe a copious amount of drugs.
That could be it too.
There's I don't know if this is on the iceberg or not, but there is actually a being that people tend to hallucinate whenever on LSD, and it's like the same being over multiple accounts.
So like every time, so LSD and with another
Yeah.
person,
Bro,
it just they see the same thing
Ron.
basically.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
that's
some-
not on the iceberg list. That'd be really cool.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
is or not, but it might be. That'd be cool.
I'm
Bro,
hoping so.
don't take LSD, kids.
Yeah, just don't
Or
don't
maybe
do drugs,
do
kids.
take LSD because this is a way to meet the all-powerful, mighty LSD man.
Yes. Yes. Let us continue.
Let us
sort of
commence
twilight
forth, dude.
moments. OOO, or object-oriented ontology, as it's called, is in reference to a concept in metaphysics that says while we as humans constantly think of our existence in a sort of selfish way, that the natural world has to revolve around our sense of perception, that's not necessarily the case. And some things that we can't explain will never be explained because the universe doesn't conform to our understanding, if that makes sense. Also, I just want to mention this now. Putting this on the iceberg as OOO made this near impossible to find, so whoever made this, thanks. Appreciate it. Also, while I'm off topic,
Oops.
normally what I do whenever researching for these things is I will find some new board on 4chan or Reddit or something like that and just follow along until someone links like an article or an old forum page to try to find out information on some of these things. But it's gotten to the point that, for example, on 4chan, when trying to look this up, someone said, oh, don't worry, this guy right here, he'll cover it in his next video. So I go to the link and it's me, which is really cool and it means a lot. And it's so wild to think that like the places I'm using for information are now like looking to me for information, which is so cool. But at the same time, that was where I was getting the information. So, but I do want to say it really means a lot how much this channel and series has grown thanks to you all. And I can't thank you enough. So it really does mean a lot. Anyway, back. Hey everybody, and
Whoops.
welcome to
I
Tier 5 Part
accidentally
2
did that.
of the Iceberg. That was where I was
Wow,
getting the
dude,
information.
that's
So,
very interesting.
But I do want to say it really means a lot how much this channel and series has grown thanks to you all, and I can't thank you enough. So it really does mean a lot. Anyway, back to the theories. Arizona Ghost Radio.
Okay, so before we get into Arizona Ghost Radio, thoughts on OOO?
What want to know what I think about?
It's very honestly, yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing:
Also,
is that does that even count as a conspiracy theory?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, yeah, it does. It technically does because we don't know if we don't know about if we'll never. We don't know if we'll ever learn about this kind of thing, about the thing that
Don't know that you
OOO
don't
is.
know.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
we
know
don't
what
know
we don't
that
know.
we can't know. No, we don't know what we can't know.
That's just the next level.
No, yeah, OOO is just the next level of we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we can't know.
Interesting idea.
So that is what why I think that OOO belongs on this list specifically because we don't know that we can't disprove we can't prove or disprove anything at this point in time,
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty.
and
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever know until the end of time.
Definitely not in our lifetime.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Didn't doubt that. Well, this depends. If they start injecting nanobots, your lifetime could be 300 years. But
Alright. Arizona Ghost Radio.
Radio is in reference to a supposedly unmanned radio program that occurs in the desert around Phoenix, Arizona. What's odd about this program is no one can find the exact person who is mandating it or putting out the songs on it, and furthermore, all the songs put out are non-known sort of background records from popular bands. Also, there's no advertisements on the radio station, and the only indication of anything on it besides music is every couple hours there will be a loop that names itself as 103.1 KCDX. But other than that, no one knows who it is, and it seems to be just an empty radio station in the desert with no known source. Windshield pitting
That's pretty straightforward.
I don't know if this is real or not.
This
I
is-
hope that it's real because that sounds awesome. Just a bunch of popular background noise with no fucking commercials. That sounds like heaven.
yeah,
This ghost is a hero to me.
Yeah,
the only problem,
that's real, and I think there's another one that's gonna come up at some point that's also real. That's a bit more creepy.
Hey, wait, so I'm back.
Oh, is it radio jacking?
No.
Anyways,
Radio jacking is fucking horrifying. I remember listening to about this one story about this guy that jacked a radio and there was just nothing but horrifying screams and crying on the other end.
I think I remember that one, but I think I
I
did the
hope.
most.
I hope.
I think I did the most simple thing ever though. I put Chick-fil-A sauce on a hamburger.
I thought you were talking about the
Damn,
conspiracy,
that's
not the.
crazy.
Alright,
Oh, there
we can
goes the
combine-
bot.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Ooga booga.
I was about to say, I know the radio demon's trying to eat Toto's butt cheeks.
Oh, it's actually not that bad. Why is this good?
Why is this good?
Okay, what burger is it? Is it a cheeseburger?
Yeah, it's just a normal cheeseburger.
Mmm,
From
doesn't sound too bad.
Homemade.
That's fine.
Damn. Fucking Chick-fil-A sauce on a home burger is great.
Man,
Okay, I'm gonna say something that'll piss off the entire internet. I feel like Chick-fil-A is bland sometimes.
I think the
The fuck
sauce
did
is
you
what
say?
carries then.
Chick-fil-A isn't the best. It's not. Popeyes is better than Chick-fil-A.
Okay, everyone knows that though.
Or
Yes,
at
okay,
least,
depends.
At least the Popeyes biscuit isn't dry.
Depends. Depends on what you're talking about.
About sheer chicken.
In general, probably yeah, but it's also like way more expensive.
True.
So
And,
it's like
Popeyes
you're
is
paying
open
for
on
the quality.
Sunday. That's why it's better.
Alright, I'm back. Any final words to say before we get on to windshield pitting epidemic?
Mayonnaise
Well,
on an
after
later.
the 5 minutes,
Bill Cosby was an inside job.
Alright
What
then.
do you mean?
Epidemic, or the
Bill
Seattle windshield
Cosby.
pitting epidemic, is a reference to a phenomenon that occurred in Seattle in 1954. Beginning in Seattle, people at the same time began to notice that their cars had small holes in the windshield. This was such a problem that people within small neighborhoods began all reporting the same problem, and theories range from nuclear testing to sand flea eggs to hail falling from the sky. What was interesting was that no other windows on the car were damaged, nor the houses or any other piece of glass, just the windshields of people's cars. On top of that, this then spread from Seattle to down the coast, all the way into California. This became such an issue that Dwight D. Eisenhower, the then president, was even contacted over it in order to try to find some explanation for this. Police were called out on more than 15,000 calls for windshield damage, with a reported 3,000 of them being absolutely confirmed to be true. And while no one knows to this day exactly what happened, the primary theory behind it is that it was just a case of mass delusion. That one person heard that someone's windshield was damaged, so then they noticed their windshield being damaged. But was it at such a scale and people all over the country began to realize that, oh no, my windshield's got holes in it for some reason? I don't know, it's a weird one, kind of hard to explain. North Korea.
This harbors back to that whole mass hysteria, mass delusion type thing that we were talking about earlier. In
Yes.
greater detail, might I add. Like,
I suppose the only way to test if that's real is to grab a glass of similar makeup as the front windshield, because the front windshield is a different glass than the rest of them, than the rest of the windshields, because the front windshield is made especially durable. Like
But
you can
notice
tell, because you can like fold it. You can
It's
fold the glass. So what I'm thinking is, the only way to test that, if there's some kind of chemical in the air that's dissolving this this burnt sand, then I suppose there's only one way to find out.
maybe. But
mass hysteria is also probably a thing that happened.
yeah, on a scale this big, maybe not. Who knows? That's why it's on this list. All right, next we
I'm
got
too lazy to figure it out, so we'll never know.
North Korea ghost ships.
Korea ghost ships is in reference to the fact that every year off the coast of Japan, about a dozen ships that seem to be from North Korea wash up on the shore with either a dead crew or a completely missing crew. Theories range from everything to alien abduction to sea monster attacks, but it's odd that all these ships keep leaving, are never accounted for, and then will one day just wash
I
up
think
on
I
the
might
shores
have
of
an
Japan with a
explanation for this
completely
one.
dead or missing crew inside. Also, not to tie in my own theories on this tier, but that's the exact same area that the bloop was heard from, so neo-dinosaurs.
Wait,
So
they
what
said
is-
North
Here's my
Korea, right?
explanation
They
Yeah.
were showing up from North Korea.
Alright, hear me out.
Yeah.
Chinese Navy.
Okay, also hear me out. Kim Jong-un being a filthy bastard.
Wrong.
Hear me out. He wants to kill people, but he doesn't want people to know that he's actually like killing them.
Like a mass murderer
he's
that
killing
kills
them
his
with
own people.
starvation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because he's
fucking
Kim Jong-un.
kill them.
Yeah, you know.
It
And then
just-
how do we hide the evidence? Oh, there was a boat and it died.
Yeah. And then Japan just happens to be just a bystander. Like, what the fuck?
That's some weird ass boats, man.
There's some
mean? This happens all the time.
Of course, like,
This
fucking
happens
Kim
all the
Jong-un's
time
on
in
the other side of
North
the border,
Korea,
like,
definitely.
Yeah, man, you don't have that happen, bro. That's kind of cringe. Not gonna lie.
Like, we don't have boats that go disappearing and end up on the shores of Hawaii or Alaska. Like, no.
You don't have that happen, dude. That's crazy. You must not have visited North Korea before. I mean, 90% of the population hasn't, but like, but yeah, you're probably just
90%
crazy.
of the population of North Korea hasn't been to North Korea.
Yes, of course.
Why didn't I think of it sooner?
I'm just saying. I think it's just Kim Jong Un being a crazy bastard.
Same. The first thing I
Yeah.
thought
Good
was,
to know he
how do
lost
you-
all that weight though.
did he actually lose a ton of weight?
Yeah, he lost a ton of weight because he got super sick.
Oh, yeah. Well, that just... that
Also, Is Kim
conversation.
Jong-un a dictator or a celebrity? I
Both.
think the answer is yes.
He's a fucking psychopath politician.
So he's just a politician.
Society.
Society.
Yeah, let's go.
It's the exact same area that the bloop was heard from, so neo-dinosaurs, or new dinosaurs, is simply in reference to the fact that there are several new species of animals that have very strong similarities to extinct dinosaur species. This is either evidence that all dinosaurs didn't necessarily die out, they simply adapted, or the idea that some species thought to be extinct may be living somewhere else on Earth, or somewhere else in Earth, as certain theories propose. Human hunting is exactly what it says.
Huh.
It
So I like this one because it's so stupid and untrue. But it also is at the same time. Let me just do this real quick. Alright. So the thing about neo-dinosaurs is that when it comes to other animals that we currently have, like birds, those are descendants of dinosaurs because of evolution. Not all dinosaurs became these feathery beasts, but a lot did, and that's how we have a lot of species that we have today. And other dinosaurs just probably died out because of the asteroid impact and the fallout from that.
But what if there's a Middle Earth? Okay, like no.
Yeah, I went on this whole cryptid tirade at one point, and there are a lot of neo-dinosaur stuff, mostly in Africa, weirdly enough. But all of them were either just untrue or people making up stories for tourism. Legit. There is this African tribe that created a myth about the area that has dinosaurs, and the people, like a bunch of people, keep coming back and trying to search for it. And at one point, someone asked one of the villagers uh, if they believed in the creature, and they're just like, no. And they're just like, why not? It's just a ploy, because we know that you idiots, that you filthy white rich people are going to come back here to look for
Wow,
it.
what a fucking. Hold on. No, I just want to
That's
point out
legit what the guy
that
said, too.
singular guy. That singular guy is a fucking idiot because now everybody knows that that's fake, and now they're not gonna stop. Now they're not gonna go back there because
That's the thing.
That guy, that one guy, ruined it for
That's
everybody.
that's the thing. There's still people who believe that it's true. So people are
Oh
still
my
going there. They get
God.
all the tourism. They get all the money from these idiots who think that it's real.
So, Hunter,
Oh my
consider this.
God, that's
Consider this.
disgusting.
There are still human beings on this earth that think I am the walrus actually means anything at all.
Wait,
even though they-
fucking what? What walrus?
Oh,
What
do
are
you
we
not know
fucking
about that song?
talking about? No, I don't. What
There's a
story
song
is
by the
that?
Beatles called "I Am the Walrus," and they kind of.
Okay, there.
It was just
Jeez.
hiding
That's
it.
so bullshit. That's the thing that I hate about conspiracy theories sometimes is that, like, no matter what happens that disproves it, or, like, if the creator of the thing says, yeah, no, that's not what happened, you can't fucking argue with that person because they're always like, no, it's true, it's true. Like all these people saying that Kanye is a fucking robot, and he says, but no, because you can't argue that you're not a robot with a bunch of fucking idiots that will say, no, he's just lying. You can't. I suppose the only way to disprove that is say, like, oh yeah, I am a robot, but still, people are still. It's so annoying. It is so annoying. Shit
It
like that.
Also, it's people
is.
desire to be different and be right. That's another thing.
I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to agree with the Africans on this one. I don't. There are idiots that will keep just doing this. They'll just keep doing this again and again. I remember being in the same call as Donald when there was just like a straight up fucking dinosaur on the cryptid list, and now I understand why. Because people are fucking stupid sometimes.
Sometimes. It's actually all the time. It's the 100. It's the only 100% guarantee with human beings. We're fucking retarded.
Exactly.
Okay, well, it's funny because now that I think about it, the smartest there are animals that are smarter than that because they don't say crazy bullshit on the internet because they can. They don't have the mental capacity to be that retarded.
I know, right? It's like being dumb makes you smarter. How? Because well, the chicken, maybe one of the dumbest animals on earth, it doesn't have the mental capacity to post on Twitter.
It doesn't have the mental capacity to go onto Facebook.
And create the most vile, mentally not smart things the world's ever seen. Anyway, let's go.
Exactly.
Let's just keep going
before
with
we
I'm
do-
honestly
before we just
surprised I'm
today's
still
part-
recording after my computer just soft restarted.
All I have to say is the fact that okay, let's continue the video before this becomes a British make fun of
British.
humans.
Sure. All right, there we go. All right, so let's move on.
In Earth, as certain theories propose. Human hunting is exactly what it says. It is the fact that throughout history there have been cultures that have prided themselves on hunting humans for sport, everything from the Colosseum to ancient Aztecs. Theory goes a step forward and says that modern day elites are still doing it in their super secret areas and forests and things such as. as simply a form of blood sport or ritual sacrifice. Teeth
All right.
Wow. I don't believe that one in the fucking slightest, but I have had
Same.
theory similar to that.
What was
Here's the
that?
thing. I don't believe that people actually do that.
Yeah.
But I believe that certain undisclosed American politician would.
Okay. Okay, so basically, people weren't doing it all throughout history. There were moments in time where people were civilized, I suppose. There were fucking times where people were like, hey, yeah, it's now illegal to kill another human being. So what I'm thinking is we're just one of those grace periods of peace before there's another Colosseum like thing where we kill people and maim them for fun.
That is an interesting idea.
Yeah,
It's funny
it's
that humans think that
terrifying.
it's
but
funny
it,
that humans think they're pure, and then there's other humans that think they're pure. There's other humans that know they're not pure, and they make fun of the fact. I
Exactly.
don't know. Like, you know what? One of the this is less of a theory, but this is something I want to talk about. I want you to think about the fact: the human mind is so creative that it can talk about the human mind.
Hmm.
That's how smart we are.
Because
That's all
what
I have
big
to say.
brain.
that's how fucking stupid we are too.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
I'm superior because I don't believe in your round earth theories. I'm a conniving genius that believes in flat.
Also, before we get to the next one, nice background there.
Of course.
Oh.
I definitely didn't activate that because people were walking at them.
implants at birth actually has two theories on it. One of which being that whenever you are born, doctors implant baby teeth into you in order to do something, I guess. Whereas the more common belief is at birth, doctors mess with your molar joints in order to cause wisdom teeth problems later in life, in order to create a triangle of money in which you have to pay to get wisdom teeth, from paying to be born in a hospital and blah blah blah, healthcare bad. But furthermore, people cite this as an explanation as to why not everyone needs their wisdom teeth removed. Stuxnet revival studies.
Okay, so people actually believe in that. That's just kind of
anybody-
sad.
Dumbass.
Like
You
10
dumb
seconds.
ass.
10 seconds of internet research would help just throw all of that into the fucking ocean where it belongs
I'm a
with
You know
Satan,
what?
Cthulhu, and that one piranha that bit my ass last year.
I'm gonna
I have two questions now. So,
first
one,
question.
do you know why we have wisdom teeth? Do you know what the latest theory on wisdom teeth is?
Hmm.
Do you actually know?
Yeah.
So, I was asking the viewers, Hunter,
Oh.
and everyone else, because I know you. Anyway, so basically, the latest theory on wisdom teeth is basically that. Oh my god, your screen's just frozen too, so it's just the one beginning. Anyway, so
It's not even me, it's my
basically-
friend.
Oh my, fuck you. So basically, the latest theory is that cavemen, right? Cavemen, POV, you're a caveman, and hygiene kind of doesn't exist. So when you lose your teeth, that sounds like a you problem. And essentially, the idea is that wisdom teeth are meant to replace as many teeth as they possibly can when your teeth fall out eventually, because hygiene doesn't exist yet.
When a typical diet consisted of chewy plants and uncooked meat, third molars, wisdom teeth, which fit easily into our ancestors' larger jaws, were absolutely necessary. Wisdom teeth were the evolutionary answer to the need for chewing power to combat excessive wear.
There's that too.
So yeah, that's pretty neato. But this whole theory about people giving you teeth is kind of stupid because as soon as you exit the womb, you already have her teeth in your skull.
Yeah, like looking 10 seconds of
Also,
research and a
I'm gonna
Google
show
search of
you
a
all.
baby's skull will show
Yeah.
instantly that we have fucked teeth. Now I hate no. Tono, do not look that up.
Too bad, I already did.
Don't
It is the
don't
most terrifying thing you've ever seen. I don't like it, and I want to get it off my screen as soon as possible. There we go. Okay.
why is it like that?
Because you have to
you're
have both sets of
fucking
teeth in
stupid.
your skull, and they slowly come out.
not
By
weird.
the way, that's horrible. It's I hate having teeth. I hate it.
Get rid of
It
them.
makes me feel gross.
Get rid of them, Hunter.
Fucking, I want to. Well, yeah, a 10-second baby, taking 10-second search about baby skulls would both ruin your life, but it also make you smart, I guess.
Yeah, the thing about teeth and wisdom teeth is that our current human jaws, they're too small to have wisdom teeth.
Actually, my dad never got his wisdom teeth removed. He doesn't need to.
You don't
I
need
don't
to.
need to either.
No one really needs to. It's just the fact that one, it's uncomfortable. Two,
Well, like he never is not uncomfortable. Just
yeah,
I don't know
because
if you guys. We have massive heads. You guys like just usually. I wear an extra large size helmet. and
you
we
got
have
the big
round
boy
old-
jaw.
Seriously, we have a gigantic, perfect, almost perfectly round head. It's annoying.
This wig is making my head
Like
itch.
that doesn't sound like a huge issue, and I wouldn't know that if I didn't ride motorcycles, buying motorcycle helmets.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna just like bail out my entire argument right now because I do not really have a stance to talk about wisdom teeth. So,
I can feel my wisdom teeth like under my gums. They don't do anything because they're under my gums.
Yeah, I got my wisdom teeth just recently. I almost had to get mine removed because mine grew out and down. So every time I opened my mouth, it I bit into my own cheek and that caused blood, but they corrected, which is weird. I don't
Okay, so
know
Dragon, what the
why.
fuck are you doing and how are you doing it? Because I'd really love to.
magic.
Yeah.
Just magic. Alright.
Yeah.
Again, let's
Vince,
keep watching.
that
the
is
Force
so.
Awakens video that's
Vince,
not about the
hold on. No, I do have one more thing to say. I think that we have fucked teeth because we are primates, and fucking primates had a very different skull when everybody was born, and when everybody was born back then. So now that we've evolved to have the largest heads compared to the rest of our body, it's problematic for everything, including the teeth, is what I'm assuming.
Maybe.
Like, we wouldn't be having this problem. Animals don't have this problem. You never have to see a dog wear teeth because they don't fuck up. Is they're not fucked because their head isn't way too large for the rest of their body.
Except for chihuahuas.
But yeah. I do have to say though, Vince, the thing that you're doing is so fucking funny that nobody has brought attention to the wig that I'm wearing.
Yep.
I don't want to bring
It's that-
attention to your wig.
Oh god, now there's only a quarter of it.
Alright, let's continue.
Oh god.
This is in reference to the Stuxnet computer virus. The virus was used against Iran's nuclear weapon program in 2009, and although there's no direct evidence of it, it's believed that the virus itself was a joint operation between Israel and the United States. The virus essentially wiped out Iran's weapons program, but now that that virus is out there, there are theories that specific groups of hackers or countries are trying to revive that virus in order to use it on separate world systems and potentially destroy an entire city's economy or infrastructure using a line of code.
All right, but
That fucking
that's
terrifying.
yeah, that is terrifying.
Yep.
That is scarier than fucking any kind of Slender Man-like creature on the internet. I think I would shit my pants less if I found out that Cthulhu was real.
For those, just like they're
The moment I
just
found out, no, guys, my reaction, dude, watch. My reaction when I find out Cthulhu is real. Thank God. I mean, thank Cthulhu, because I was worried that we like actually had like.
Thank Cthulhu.
Yeah. I was worried that we actually had some bullshit Christian god or something, man.
that's
Okay,
like
but that would also mean that we're all in a dream, and that we were all in the stories of a racist man with an interesting cat.
yes.
But he was just a prophet.
But here's the thing,
Yeah,
just
this
the
racist
thought.
prophet with an interesting cat.
Here's the thing, just the thought that if at some point any one of these world organizations or world powers gets Stuxnet revitalized and is able to use it at any moment, that country, the targeted country, can just have no systems online.
Yeah.
And
Also,
that's
let's
terrifying.
Let's also not focus on the fact that that got rid of an entire weapon system,
Including
which
nuclear.
means that, yeah, fucking somebody else control the nuclear weapon system. Fucking, if it's erased, then that system, then that entire country is probably going to be raided by a very fucking terrifying infrastructure. It's quite bad. It's bad. It's very bad, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that is really terrifying to think about because, like, it's too real.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
too
Yeah,
close to.
it's
The whole theory is that people are trying to get this online, but we should already know by now people are probably trying to get this.
If people were trying to get this back online, they would probably already have that happening.
Yeah.
That's also
I'm
true.
gonna be honest. Yeah, if there were people working on it, like one or two people working, that can turn into the biggest fucking snowball effect and turn into another case of I got kicked from art school, which is horrifying to think about.
like how we're not allowed to say like and not like we're not actually say it's just I got kicked from art school.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need to say.
YouTube can't demonetize us for that.
You can't get demonetized at all. Anyways, let's go.
No, I got demonetized. I don't make money, and I still got
Fasting
demonetized.
is exactly what it says.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that
that.
there are properties to urine that can be partaked of, and I don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right.
Yummy urine. I can't
Yummy,
wait.
yummy, yummy.
can't
I got
wait.
urine in my tongue.
I fucking love Bear Grylls.
No.
Hey, do you guys want some lemonade? It's freshly made.
What are you doing, Vince? No, Vince, you're gonna get
It's
us
my
copyright.
We're gonna get no thoughts, sir. Sir, okay, that's acceptable.
Wait,
How
can
is
I
that
hear?
your camera? No, because it's your camera.
I kind of want to make a theory and just to like fuck with people and make people terrified of their current situation. Just okay, imagine this. What if there's like a few real people and everything is a government situation?
That's
to make
already a
you
thing.
feel like you're in a real place surrounded by real people.
That's
Oh
already,
fuck! It's funny though. It's a funny thing to think about. It's funny. It's funny. and it would fuck with people, which is funny.
Sorry, you think. Anyways.
Actually,
Government's watching you.
Suzuki.
there's actually a movie.
Suzuki
It's
is
similar to that.
Suki.
The
It's
Suzuki-
Suki.
Wait, what did you
I
say?
don't know what it's called. I've heard that there was a movie or something that was about this guy who his entire life is fake and he doesn't know for the longest time. But like he's just in like all these sets that are being set up for him, and all the people in his life are actors. And then he
Oh,
realizes
that's the isn't it called the Stanley Parable? Is that, am I thinking of the correct? Oh wait, no, that's the game. What was it called? I forgot what it was called. Westworld? Was it called Westworld?
I actually don't know what the movie's called. But
I can't remember.
Stanley Parable.
I just remember that it was a show, and that people were walking on stairs. That was actually the sky.
Yeah, so yeah, one of my Stanley Parables like that too. Oh,
I
yes,
could
yes.
also say.
Finally, guys, Vince, you finally turned your real camera on. Thank you.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
turning your real camera on, man.
Because I can't think of the correct show, I'm just gonna say WandaVision for all intents and purposes.
I mean that you're not wrong, but let's keep going.
Yeah.
Eat your own pest.
And I don't want to talk about this anymore. Suzuki is in reference to the Suzuki Procedure that popped up in 2017 on 4chan. In 2017, a user by the name of Suzuki popped up on 4chan and began telling people that they were giving away these sort of entry passes to escape the system space. According to them, we do not live in the correct reality, and every time that you die, you ascend one reality up if you follow a certain number of steps. Suzuki was offering a way to the next step, and they considered what we were in now to be the system space. Therefore, if you do what Suzuki says, whenever you die, and without killing yourself, because that was stressed several times, you would then go up to the next tier. This is another one of those we live in a simulation, the world is not real theories that come from this specific user. Accelerationism is
This was almost exactly what Hunter was talking about earlier. And he's not even here to witness it, which makes it all the better.
Vince, can you just can we go back to your real camera, please?
Fine.
There we go. Perfect.
Although honestly, all I can think of is the meme that was posted was like, Thomas never been touched by another.
Stop. 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 All right. Simulated reality. Yeah,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
cool simulated reality. Hunter was talking about that. Anyways, next.
is a political
Next.
philosophy that goes off the idea that things are going to continuously work in cycles, so things will get worse before they get better, essentially, and that the best form
What's
of
this
action, while we are capable, is to make things worse now so that we can hurry on to the rebuilding process. So essentially, if there is an economic system that is causing trouble in a country, the best thing to do is to accelerate that system as fast as you can and hurry up and get to the collapse so that you can work towards the rebuilding. The
That's that I would believe in that if it weren't for the let's ruin everything now part of it.
Yeah.
Just gonna... There we go. Anyway. I'm gonna like send you to the timeout corner. He changed right as he left. Then he changed it right as he left. Anyways, but yeah, I think that's an interesting idea, and I'd probably be more inclined to believe in it if it weren't for the part where we're supposed to ruin everything now. Because
Well, and that
when
works,
do you
except for, like-
stop?
Exactly. There's certain things that you're just not going to stop, and like global warming. Yes, let's incinerate the entire planet and then begin rebuilding. Wait
Exactly. Like no.
a minute. No.
Like where do you stop before you start rebuilding again? That is the one thing I don't get about accelerationism is the fact that there's no place to stop, and it's never told when we'd have to stop ruining stuff, because at that point it's just like you're doing this your entire life, and then there's no point. So it's just like I don't know. It doesn't work out. At least not with me. There goes Anthony with the deafened headphones. I believe.
Sorry, it's just testing my mic because it's saying I'm talking.
Okay. Alright, so I swapped to my other real camera.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's a really weird camera angle you got there.
Got a problem?
Let's keep going.
Let's continue.
Phallus is believed by ancient Greeks to be the center of the world.
Oh, there's an ad. We're not getting ad blockers because I support him, and he get his money.
The rebuilding. The Omphalos is believed by ancient Greeks to be the center of the world. According to legend, Zeus sent two hawks from either side of the world to fly towards the middle at equal speeds, and they met each other over Delphi, meaning that Delphi was the center of the world. According to legend, Zeus placed this rock, or the navel of the world as it was called, at the temple of Delphi, and the oracles then used it for ancient spells. Examining the rock now reveals that there are air passageways up the rock, meaning that it was most likely used to smoke stuff out of and receive spiritual experiences. So, go figure. Sticking to the Greek.
The Greeks doing drugs. Where have I heard that one before?
So
I
basically,
thought that said Oompa Loompas.
so basically they made a stone bomb for stoning purposes.
Yeah, they made they made a stoner that makes you get stoned because you're at the quote unquote center of the world.
High cavemen is the fucking best. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I heard the Chinese put cannabis in their babies' lips.
Not only that, but the Mesopotamians used to smoke shrooms in their temples to get visions from the gods.
One way to get a vision, I guess.
And then the Aztecs also did drugs. Because of course they did. And the Mayans. But the Mayans were actually smart, so... Yeah, I don't really have much to say about
Anyway,
that. It's the stone banyan.
No, it's big brain question.
It is the big
How
brain.
would a spider wear pants?
Just stop.
What if they just didn't fucking wear pants?
Exactly.
Like, if they did, would it be the back two legs? Like, you know,
Is
the
this
whole-
relevant to Greek magnetic sky?
Yeah, let's just...
Yes.
Oh my god.
Don't know why
Greeks
my
and Greek magnetic
internet
sky is a
dying
reference to
is
the fact
depressing.
that most of the Greek architecture we see, such as temples and state houses, are all angled or sort of drifting in a way towards their magnetic field,
I'll be
and
back. Let me
it
go get
lies
some
in such
chocolate
a
milk.
way that all of the stars and solar bodies can be seen from certain hilltops in Greece, implying that there was an extraordinary amount of astronomical architecture that went into these buildings, or aliens. The theory is saying that's aliens because, of course, it is. Quantum entanglement.
Okay. That would have been cool if it weren't for the aliens part.
I think it was just called, ancient Greece is pretty smart.
Yeah, it's just like it's the
called
same thing as
math.
the pyramids. It's just like, oh, people didn't have the tools to build the pyramids. Meanwhile, this one guy building an entire underground castle using only a chisel.
Dude, fucking God. That is one of the things that piss me off the most, because at that point it's just stacking rocks intelligently.
That's like,
They're like, it requires like a fucking power drill, and they don't have that one.
it's just like, this is why I don't watch the History Channel, ironically enough, because it's all ancient aliens because it makes them the most money. And I saw a video one time that was explaining all of human history all of history itself according to ancient aliens, and it's as unsurprising as you'd think it is, because all they say is that it's just aliens. There's nothing else. It's just aliens. And I hate all those theories because it's just like there's no imagination. There's no imagination. There's no realistic facts. It's just pretty much saying, hey, this was slightly ahead of its time. This was aliens. Hey, look, this is pretty cool. It was aliens. Look, there are people that are smart.
Only need one word.
It's aliens.
Don't. There's one word. Aliens.
Exactly.
That's the entire thing.
They don't mean to say it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Aliens, not them. That was aliens.
Yeah, just don't
That's
listen to Giorgio the
No, no, no,
bodybuilder, alright? Just don't listen to that guy.
It was aliens.
Sir, my name's Ernest
It wasn't.
Colino.
No. The pyramids were built by aliens. But like the foreigner kind that are slaves.
Not even that's confirmed either. That's the thing. A lot of people think it was slaves. That's not even confirmed.
But how face? How do face?
How does the pharaoh afford that? No, he doesn't. He can, but he doesn't. No. No, it's not confirmed that it was slaves, but that's how society was.
But what if?
But what is?
I think it was all Giga Chad. Giga Chad.
Yeah, it was just all Giga Chads.
Wait, what happened?
No, just the Giga Chad. Tono did all.
Just
of them.
one. Pharaoh Giga Chad. Anyways, quantum entanglement. I am going to have a field day with this one.
Entanglement is a very sort of hard to understand concept. I'm going to do my best to explain it in an easy way. So if you'll remember how I mentioned quantum suicide in Tier 2 and how small particles react differently to things of the real world, quantum entanglement is in reference to the idea that when two of these microscopic particles come together, they sort of act as one particle. So therefore, things that are amassed together will begin acting as if they are one unit instead of several, and their quantum mechanics become entangled. So take that a step further and apply it to humans when it comes to things like string theory, and then you may realize that maybe you, the individual, are not the one that is acting in your own quantum field, but your own planet or your universe even is acting in its own sort of quantum direction. This is a step further in the thought concept that we do not have agency of ourselves and are instead subject to whatever others or even the universe does around us. Dr. Robert Morse.
I love quantum entanglement because it's just so interesting. Because it's like half proven true. It's not the fact that all atoms or all particles are connected with each other or with another particle somewhere, but it's moreover, so far what we have currently is that particles can be connected with each other, and based off of what affects one thing may affect the other. It's still in the works, and it's still pretty much completely theoretical for right now, but for quantum entanglement, it's very interesting because China actually did a lot of research on quantum entanglement a while back, and they were actually able to teleport some light particles using a few theoretical sciences. Yes. Cool. Teleportation. It's great. It's free real estate. It's not much of a conspiracy as it is just a theory. So.
But you can make it a conspiracy theory, because if that's true, and particles start to act like the things next to them, is that why people who are married for a long time feel?
Or maybe we're not actually in control. Yeah, there's a lot of theories you can create with scientific theories. So it goes like this: science, scientific theories, conspiracy theories.
Dr. Robert Morse, who the?
We'll see about that right now.
became famous with his theories of veganism when it
Oh.
comes to correct diets and detoxing. However, what he is most known for is pioneering the idea of iridology, which is that you can look at someone's eyes and from the way that their eyes are formed and imperfections in it, tell everything from what diseases they have to what they are lacking in their nutritional diet. Currently, it's still considered a form of pseudoscience. However, there are people, including Robert Morse, who firmly believe that the secrets to the human body can be seen simply by looking into the eye. Ethnopsych.
That is an interesting idea, but it's
Yeah, it
pseudoscience.
is.
Like,
Let me just look into this guy's eye directly, eye-to-eye contact, real quick.
tell me, what's my health plan?
Alright, let me see. Get into the camera, Tono. I gotta check your
I have
eyes.
to move my...
They look normal.
They look like
You got
eyes.
AIDS.
You got AIDS.
Tono's just standing to be there. I'm sorry, you got AIDS.
but I've never AIDS.
Fucking okay. I really hate that.
Tono, but I'm a virgin. Then to be like, to your knowledge. Smiles.
I really hate that conspiracy, but I really like the idea of being like, yeah, you're staring into my eyes, you're a fucking idiot.
Just be like, I understand
Bro.
now. You'll be dead within a week.
Bro.
Yeah, go, let's keep
Looking-
going.
Not from nutrition, just because you're a fucking idiot that believes this.
Alright, best way to put it,
I'm running nutritional
Yeah,
things. I'm just gonna kill you.
crush gets you looking at her directly. And like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just looking at your eyes for diseases.
I was just making sure you're healthy and all. I'm not
Sorry,
stalking you. No.
I bet you he's the kind of guy to grab a random lady's ass and be like, I'm sorry.
It's for a conspiracy video I'm doing.
Yeah, Wendigoon's gonna review it. It's gonna be really cool.
When are you going to do a video of my grabbing arse theory?
My gra-
Yeah,
Why did you say it in a British
Hold on,
way?
let me just feel those titties. You need more chicken.
Okay,
No,
Hunter
Hunter didn't squeeze a mannequin boob. No, he was trying to see if the mannequin was healthy. He was testing his new. He's trying to become a doctor.
Look,
He's trying to
man.
check for the chicken.
I'll end this.
Oh my god, okay, before we
just-
go on a rant about how we've been touching people, let's keep watching.
Let's just keep going.
Psychiatry is exactly what it says. The idea that different ethnicities and cultures have different psychiatric effects in their brain and therefore need to be treated differently. However, you can apply this to a sort of historical view and say that the reason these different groups have different thought patterns is because of historical events that have occurred to them. This is very similar to the toxoplasmosis thing that I mentioned in whatever tier that was, where I said that this specific parasite has changed the course of human history. Well, take the parasite out of it and imagine that people have been changed over the course of history because of events that have happened to them, and therefore entire countries or ethnicities because of the psychological effects that have happened to them over time. Harmonic sync is
I hate that.
Wait, what happened?
Pretty much, depending on your race, the whole theory is depending on your race, you act, think, and and your impact is different. So pretty much, you could have these impacts on society. You could have these health benefits and defects. You could have pretty much your race depicts everything about you. Pretty much. It's an easy way to be a racist.
Alright, so I'm part Mexican. I don't know Spanish, but, you know, if I'm part Mexican, can I speedrun getting over a wall?
Yes.
Bro.
No, but
Okay,
you might
I-
be able to beat a Hispanic.
I have
Yeah,
a
exactly.
similar theory about
If you're
that.
Spanish, you get to run at the speed of Hispanic. You're
I have a
natural
similar
born
theory about
sprinters.
that, but I have a very similar theory about that, but only it's about names and not race, which is very interesting. I feel like everybody that's named a certain thing kind of grows up to become that normal stereotype.
This is yeah. This is it's a weird phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like every hunter's a douchebag. I'm sorry, Hunter. But
Yeah, that is 1000% true. I cannot deny
like
that.
every name has a thing, and it always happens. And like I think it like I like what are you saying about like what our minds how our minds affect us? Like just having that name could subconsciously make us act a certain way just because it's said that that name does this thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about like how the fucking Kyle meme was a thing and how the Karen meme was a thing because there's
Yeah.
always this just giant group and stereotype as to how these people act, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah, and I believe that most, or not most, but a large portion of people with certain names will fall into that stereotype only because society kind of pushes that on them. You know,
Yeah.
it's become
Yeah, I
more of a
saw.
societal thing than a your fate was this.
Yeah, I was.
Society.
Like, we can get into predestination, but I don't want to.
I remember seeing this fucking meme. Even hunters become like a big category of one of those things. I saw a meme earlier that was like every hunter trying to walk out the door, and he's like, I wonder what my parents look like naked.
What?
All right, let's just move on.
Because we all say this stupid shit.
Is in reference to the fact that all sound waves give off a frequency, and that if two frequencies are matching each other, one can sort of become invisible under the other. This is both a concept when it comes to hidden messages and other weird MK Ultra experiments, but can also be used as a way to sort of manipulate the mind or even damage it, as I mentioned before in the Havana incident, where sound waves supposedly broke people's minds. It could have been done using this method. Report from Iron Mountain.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Like I like that's something that I could believe, or at least believe to an extent, you know. Because as far as we know,
I think
sound waves don't cancel each other out or take priority over one another. It's just a bit part of our psyche and the fact that you probably hear both of them at the same time, which is why it sounds like one. Because when it comes to the human
yeah,
psyche, and I've seen this happen before, especially with music. Like if there's one element that's introduced, and you introduce a second element, but they're like have similar, not sounds, but like they're at the same volume. They have the same sort of wavelength, I guess. Then you're going to take priority over the element that just got added because it's new and you haven't heard that yet.
it's why hearing. Okay, this is another thing that I have to say about that. I think this is part of the reason, and this is I could get into a whole other theory about like a question of why can't certain people hear things. It's certain that like I have this thing where I can hear like I can in my brain while I'm listening to a song I can separate every sound. I can
Mhm.
separate every almost. It's extremely difficult, but like some people don't understand why I listen to a song over and over again. And that's part of why I do it, right? But
Yeah.
it's also kind of the question of is it that the sounds are meshing together because of science, or is it that your brain doesn't understand it? Because this has happened to me before, right? I've listened to a song and two sounds mesh together, but then you think you ponder on it, you listen to the song again, and they separate themselves. So maybe it's now that these sounds are on the same wavelength and that they're combining together, but your brain can't comprehend it, so it makes it one sound. But well, I guarantee that with enough effort, you can train your brain to hear those sounds separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like fucking listening to music sometimes, not for the way that a song sounds in general, but for the how the different sounds sound in
Together.
general. I fucking love certain songs for like one or two instrument among like fucking 10 instruments in that song. Like I fucking love some of the instruments they use in Mother Mother, but like the rest of it, I just don't vibe with it. But I specifically listen to that song for one noise.
Hmm. It's pretty much just this whole thing of what do we find to be good about music and what do we like about music, because whenever you like something, you tend to be able to distinguish different sounds and pretty much just have this whole thing with it where you could just break it down, find all the different elements, put it back together, and figure out what you like about it. Songs you hate or just haven't heard, maybe on like the first or second hear through, you're not really looking for that kind of thing. You're just trying to figure out how it goes in the first place. And so a lot of it has to do with your mind and your psyche because of how the human brain works and how we hear things. It's really interesting to get into.
Let us commence forth.
It was a book that was published from the perspective of a panel of government agents who were giving secret information of government proceedings to the population. In the book, it said that it was determined by government higher-ups that in order to maintain power and peace, that there always needed to be a state of war, because using that or disease or some other form of terror, the government can continue to assert itself for control. Theories about this book range from everything to this is a very good take and sort of satirical look at how the government works, to people who literally believe that it is an actual 15 group of government panelists who released this book against their higher-ups' wishes. USSR never collapsed.
Okay, so the book is obviously not real, but the things in the book are real to an extent. Because right now, people are so willing for protection that, and I don't mean to quote Captain America, but they're willing to give up their own freedom for it, or their own privacy for it. They're pretty much giving up their own protection for protection.
Yes.
And that's like, I'm not really pro-government, especially with the state we're in right now. Pro-government is not really my thing. At the same time, like, you need a government, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you don't need it to the extent of like what China has or what the Mongols had. You don't need it too
Basically,
chaotic, you don't
every
need it too
communist
good.
country.
Yeah, you don't need it communist. No gulags, please.
No,
So look at the
North
next theory.
Korea,
Speaking of
please.
communism, look at the next theory, Tono.
Yes.
Peace. Now this is theory I can get behind.
I feel like a lot of people are very unnecessarily paranoid to an extent about the government, but I also feel like, okay, I feel like some people go too far, is the point that I'm trying to make. Some people are like, the government's trying to take my penis and use it as spaghetti. And then there's like actual genuine concerns that people are worried about that are specifically anti-government.
I love those people who are just like, oh, the government's gonna try to track you while they post stuff from their phone. We literally pay to have ourselves get tracked by the government.
I don't think.
Tono, you wanna know the best thing ever? Undisclosed parental person was like, no, we're not gonna get the COVID vaccine. It's just gonna give the government our DNA, bruh.
I don't think that's how. I don't think
It's
that's
almost like
why.
they have all of it.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, that's
Also, do you doubt that the government has everyone's DNA already?
No, I really don't.
There's records like everywhere. Not only that, but the government's got to the point where a lot of information about you personally, even if you don't go online, is still out there about you, because there's records where you could legit just go online and search up names or just a few details and find out where someone lives, you could probably figure out where someone lives based off of either just a name or just a few minor details about them.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a point where everything's shared so much that there's realistically there's not that much privacy. You know?
I'm scared to like look up myself and see how much information there is.
That
Probably a lot.
yeah,
That would be an interesting activity.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Looking up yourself and seeing how much information about yourself exists that you
Ex-
can find.
Exactly. You could probably find a lot of stuff about you that you didn't know was there. And
But do they have-
even if you don't go online, people can still find you through other people. Because if you're not online, there's probably someone you know that is and who has spoke about you at some point. So it's just like no matter what you do, you'll probably have a presence, no matter how minuscule that is. And I find that really interesting and also slightly disturbing.
Yeah.
The government can know all they want about me. I don't care. I'm not that crazy of an individual. There's nothing that I'm probably. There is nothing dangerous that I'm probably ever gonna do in my entire fucking life. I'm not gonna lie.
Think
Same
about me,
here.
then they're gonna be like, if the government knew everything about me, which they probably already do, they're like, the tier goes to the FBI agent side. You can do it, bro.
I can.
The FBI agent spying on me through my camera right now.
Dude, the FBI agent flicking looking through my search history has probably killed himself. Probably 3 times over. They probably need new people to hire searching on the streets because of all the government operatives. They hired to look at some boy's internet history. The 3 past people looked there fucking killed themselves.
FBI sees my search
Literally
history and
imploded.
immediately wants to bleach their eyes, not because I look up anything bad, but because either my stuff is so stupid or my stuff is weird. Like I casually looking up the KKK's pay wages during the 80s on a school computer.
You're on some kind of fucking watch list. Also, by the way, the
The FBI agent wanting to bleach their eyes out, not for any particular reason, only because they have to look through my Discord Discord things that are all in light mode.
by the by the way, I have another equally terrifying thought that if the government is seeing legitimately everything that's on the internet and looking around and searching through people's internet and just fucking tracking them or whatever, they have probably seen some very fucked up things that they can't stop because it would fucking ruin everything that they've built so far.
Dark web.
People are like fucking screaming, begging for help, probably on the internet, and the government can't do anything about it, and they can just watch as the worst things happen to the best people.
It's sad.
Only the good die young, and all the evil seems to live forever.
Evil will always triumph because good is dumb. Anyways, let's continue.
The USSR never
That-
collapsed.
that's a
Could have
lot
been
of-
a good theory until Russia tried to invade Ukraine.
Collapsed is in reference to the idea that the supposed fall of the USSR in 91 at the end of the Cold War was instead just a ruse to divert attention away from the Red Scare. Evidence of this comes from the ideas that the US never verified that the USSR was gone, or that if you look at countries around the region at the time, there doesn't seem to be any change of government or celebration other than stuff that could be superficial. And furthermore, the US never deployed any troops or any stations in Russia, so it's sort of this idea that it was an understanding between countries in order to point attention somewhere else. Kundalini energy.
Okay, here's the thing. There are celebrations. I've actually talked with this Hunter at one point. There are actually several different Independence Days from the US against the USSR, including Russia. As much as it would be funny to believe that the USSR never collapsed, it did. Plus, we got a whole bunch of different countries out of that.
See what I said, Dono? It
Huh?
does not mean it can be reborn.
Exactly.
Position.
We'll rebuild it in Canada.
But just remember, be careful. People are putting Communist Manifesto into children's candy this Halloween.
There's the whole ass Communist Manifesto and then fucking. You take a bite of your Reese's, and the Communist Manifesto just expands inside of your fucking mouth.
It's one of those just add water manifestos.
Communist Manifesto.
Just add water.
It's all soggy.
Whenever you take a bite of your candy and then you accidentally taste the soggy Communist Manifesto.
Oh.
No, it tastes of
Oh
fucking-
no, my Starbursts have an entire book in it.
Oh,
I guess I'm a communist now.
Mommy, what's this book that we found in this apple? That's the Communist. Let's unbox this before we die.
You stupid
get
fucking
assassinated by-
child.
And we
That's
get
a
assassinated
Communist
by the
Manifesto,
USSR.
you useless bitch.
Energy is a concept in Sanskrit mysticism, similar to key energy and things like that from other
Did
Eastern
he say
philosophies. It's
sands?
the idea that someone can embody this ethereal energy around them, but Kundalini energy goes a step forward and says that they can manifest it in their real world life in order to perform certain tasks or functions. So basically a sort of hidden power that the user can call upon. Brain in a jar.
Okay, so this is pretty much like what's it called? I forgot what it's called. Mana. You have your own mana. I love this kind of stuff because I love fantasy and I love magic and it's all amazing and I want to believe it.
Brain in a jar. Classic. Absolute classic.
Before we get to that, any thoughts?
So,
I do.
don't make sure
Bro.
you don't have the weird energy in your candy. Also, they can manifest it. Shit.
Bro,
but
I'm gonna
what
make a.
can you? But one can manifest is the Communist Manifesto.
All right, we're moving on.
I'm gonna make a second me to intercourse. Just because I'm.
What?
All right, we're moving on.
Brain in the vat, as it's often called, is the now sort of well-known idea that if you were to take a human brain out of the body and hook it up to a computer, and in that computer was a simulation of the real world, there is no possible way for that brain to figure out that it is not itself in a simulation. This relates back to the whole concept of I think, therefore I am, and that nothing can absolutely be known besides your own thought process, because everything could simply be a simulation. Universe people.
I like this because it also relates to another theory called the Boltzmann Brain, which is a similar idea that if entropy gets high enough, there's a chance, however small it may be, that a brain can just start existing with thoughts already made in it, and the only thing that it could do is really think, and in its own mind it would exist because it thought, and it'd have its own world that it'd
And
live in.
it wouldn't know that it is. So is this kind of the last Thursdayism thing where, because a brain can exist that already has memories and thoughts in it, that a human brain could only be a week old, but think it's 80 just because it has that many things already in it.
Kinda, and that brain would also not know that it's a disembodied brain floating in space. Instead, it would be thinking up its own reality and how it works, pretty much.
Mhm.
It'd be conscious,
like-
but in a different way.
I feel like that's just another state of misinformation. Like, I was just not told. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Exactly know what's going on just because I'm a brain in a jar? Like, and you never fucking told me that. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking. Make your bullshit theories all you want. I wasn't told shit.
Exactly. All right, let's get this going.
Was a cult that originated in Europe in the 90s. This cult was sort of your standard ideas of UFO and crazy mysticism. It had ideas from biblical philosophy and Eastern philosophy, and simply explained that figures like Jesus were extraterrestrials throughout history. They faced a lot of scrutiny after the suicide of the Heaven's Gate cult in the United States and supposedly disbanded. However, there's theories that several influential people in European politics are secretly a member of this cult, and they are planning for some grandiose whatever cults do. The
Okay, you guys talk
Okay.
about this. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Okay, so basically that's just another. The lizard people are controlling the planet. There's no way to prove it, and there's no way to fucking disprove it. So we have a bunch of crazies harassing people that are actually just doing their jobs, asking them if they're fucking lizard people. And if they say no, they'll continue to harass them because there's no way to fucking disprove that.
And if they
Yeah.
say yes, they'll keep harassing them because they're
I mean, don't get me wrong. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg is undoubtedly a lizard person, but that doesn't mean that the rest of them are.
Yeah.
Exactly. If Zuck is a lizard, then Zuck can be a lizard.
Yeah, fucking, you're not gonna get some kind of scale man from Kanye West, the same man that makes fun of himself in a basketball field. Only Kanye would do that.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb. Like, I
Kanye Mo-
feel the thing that happened a while ago with the mass suicide at Heaven's Gate, something that's just fucked up and something that you don't talk about again
I forgot what
because it
Heaven's
is
Gate
fucked up.
was.
It's, I don't know, it's a location that a bunch of people killed themselves at because they had some crazies telling them to. It was a horrible situation that just innocent people got wrapped up in because it was a conspiracy cult. But blaming other people for that is so insensitive and such bullshit that these people really can't see like 2 feet in front of them because of how
Uh,
hindsighted they are. They're like legitimately blaming people that had nothing to do with the situation. Like, hey, are you the same people that had something to do with the deaths of hundreds of innocent people? Like, do you fucking understand how fucking insensitive and horrible that is? I don't like it. I don't like those people. They're fucking stupid.
yeah.
So that's all I have to say anything on the situation. How
Vince, I
about
have
you,
to
Anthony?
say, Vince, okay, all I have to say. Yeah, I agree with Thunder. Also, Vince, you're just looking great. You're looking great, man.
Thanks.
Damn. Now that's what I call
No,
fucking.
just
You hit the gym, my guy. I hit the barber.
absolutely
You couldn't tell. I got my fucking shit sneeved.
nice.
Yeah, man, I'm looking pretty nice.
Alrighty then.
What's the Umo case?
We'll see.
Uno case is one of the more well-known events when it comes to extraterrestrials. In the
Ah.
1960s, 15 people around Spain began receiving these letters claiming to be that of alien life. According to these letters, they didn't want to make their presence known to man and simply had questions about how humans operate. These letters correctly identified several military events that were not known to the public that occurred in the decades leading up to these letters' messages, and even said that they found Earth because of signals being sent by a Norwegian tanker in 1934, which it was later proven had actually happened. According to these extraterrestrials, they were simply interested in how life worked on Earth and were very interested in concepts such as art, and after short correspondence with these 15 people, they all simply vanished. Segregated Internet is in reference.
I love that because it's a thing that actually happened and no one knows what happened after.
It's a classic who done it and why they done it.
Yeah, exactly. Are these actually aliens or are they just people trying to troll?
Who done it and
It-
why they did?
It seems too serious to be a troll, and there's no one who stepped forward claiming that they're the person. And like it's believable. It is believable. I'll give it that. Like, I can't sit here and say it's not believable because it just is. They give enough facts in detail in order to make it believable, and
What's interesting is that, like, stuff that hadn't been released to the public that was later confirmed. Interesting. Has some interesting, like, weird lore to it, so that's cool.
yeah, exactly. It has its own story, its own thing that just happened, and no one knows what happened after.
I don't say so myself, Tono. That's
Any other
Where
thoughts?
were
that's a
you?
conspiracy fact.
We're not bringing back conspiracy
No.
fact video idea that should have died 20 years ago.
Even Hunter hates it.
I still remember that.
It's a funny fucking video, but it should be dead in the grave.
We're gonna do a conspiracy facts video once we're done with this.
We're not
Someone
doing
quote
the
me on
third
this.
one.
Whenever we reach the last video in this series, in this breakdown series, someone put in the comments to do a conspiracy facts video, Iceberg thing.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You're gonna do
I'm
a
not
breakdown.
gonna do it.
I'm going to.
I'm not gonna fucking do.
We're gonna do it with
another
or without
conspiracy
you.
Fact. The first one was AIDS. enough.
Exactly.
We
We're
don't
gonna
need to
break down the.
torture
We're gonna
anybody
break down the
watching.
first one.
Oh God.
Anyways, let's continue.
21 kid
Respondents with
is
these 50
Hitler.
people, they all simply vanished. Segregated Internet is in reference to the fact that there are obviously segregations on the internet.
What are y'all
depending
gonna
on
do for
race
Halloween?
or ethnicity and religion. However, the theory goes a step further and says that these are purposeful segregations given by the elites or higher ups in order to keep people segregated from each other and therefore continue to build up animosity towards each other so that people don't become a collective and look towards the real issues, i.e. the ones causing it. Symbiote.
That's an interesting idea.
It's also dumb, in my opinion. Fucking no.
There is way too much
feel
getting
like-
along on the internet to for this to actually be true.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking, do you know how many e-girls are fucking from Japan and whatever?
Yeah, well,
Fucking, there's no such thing as segregation when there are no Sims. I wish there was segregation, because that means that I wouldn't have to deal with all these fucking weebs all the time.
hey man. Why you gotta do that to me?
Not you, though. You're cool. You're
Alright.
gay as fuck.
No, I'm not. That's the problem.
You're the one in a selfie photo. That's not my
Okay.
problem.
I do it for the meme.
Yeah, but it's a Stolfo, you fuck.
But meme.
Kinda hot, not gonna lie.
You're not-
That's exactly why. Even if it's funny, you're not gonna stop people like Anthony.
I cannot be stopped.
I
I
could share
never
some
saw it.
downloads.
See, I cannot be stopped because I'm not an unstoppable force. I'm an immovable object.
Your dick's an immovable object.
All right.
That's kind of a problem here, Anthony. I don't know if you know.
Okay, anyway, symbol by Gina.
Genesis is a rather well-known concept in biology. As a matter of fact, it is the theory
Did you
of
just
how
say
the
Gina?
mitochondria came to be, and it is the idea that certain biological organisms over time have began to adopt other biological organisms as part of their mainframe and continue to evolve with them. The reason for the mitochondria I mentioned earlier is because mitochondria always have a different DNA than the cell they're inside of, implying at one point that it was an entirely separate organism. This theory goes a step further and says it's happened with much more macro creatures, and even goes to say that perhaps the reason for human sudden evolution throughout our timeline of existence was because we began to absorb other creatures. So, yeah, that's a nice thought.
Okay, I actually like this one because it's an actual theory of how cells or animal cells came to be. Because animal cells is pretty much, there's a whole theory where it's just like a cell ate another cell, and that cell started to work for the other cell instead of getting eaten by the cell. And from that, they started to multiply with those other cells already inside.
Yeah, that's the mitochondria. That's confirmed already.
Exactly. So
The
why can't this?
mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
So why can't this apply to
Wow.
everything else? You know.
That's
Hunter,
all I
you
could
disappoint
think
me.
about.
You disappoint me.
That's all I could think about during the video.
Mitochondria is your mother.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Why do you have to ask if your mother is why?
Your mother is the letter Y, dude. Anyway,
The Antikythera mechanism is regarded as many as the first analog computer. Estimated to be made around 100 BC, it was a complex system of 36 bronze gears that turned in such a way that, from what we can tell now, was made to resemble the passage of the moon and even predict abnormalities in the moon, such as eclipses and things such as. What's interesting is, given the time, this is much more advanced than anything else the Greeks had invented, with some even stating that the inside of it looks like a clock. The Getty Ruins are a series of ruins
All right. So here's the thing.
Spaghetti
That's
ruins.
not even all of it about the mechanism. It could also predict the orbits of planets as well as just work like a normal clock. So it could tell the normal day to night type thing. It could predict moon stuff like eclipses. Then it could also predict the orbits of the planets. Obviously, only the ones that they knew about at the time, but still, that's impressive.
It's not as much of a conspiracy theory, though. It's just like a, hey, this thing exists. It's pretty cool.
unfortunately, he didn't say, but aliens.
Yeah.
That's why, Hunter, because ancient aliens, they're not smart enough for this. They're stupid. Yeah, the aliens.
Humans
It
are
had to be
big
these.
dumb. Therefore,
had to be
aliens.
Big dumb.
It had to be the Jesus aliens. The Jesus aliens made the computer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus aliens came to eat my butthole on stream at 3 a.m.
Gone wrong. Gone sexual.
Gone wrong. No. What? You're gonna get us banned. Oh, stop. No, I like that one where he's commanding a bunch of UFOs. That's my favorite one. Where it's just normal Jesus commanding a bunch of UFOs.
I like to think about the replicating atoms theory. Well, I'll talk about that later.
Alright.
That face, though. Alright, enough looking at Jesus alien. Let's continue.
Alien
stating that
Jesus,
the inside
alien
of it looks like
Jesus.
a clock. The Getty Ruins are a series of ruins found on the coast of Kenya in the 1920s.
Spaghetti
What's interesting
ruins.
about these ruins is, while there's no exact history of who made them, it seems to be a massive trading station for the maritime people of the Somalia coast. However, there's no clear example of why these ruins became abandoned, especially considering that at the time that they would have been vacated, surrounding areas were much more impoverished than them, so it makes no sense as to why people would just leave the city empty. However, local tribes say that the ruins hold what they know as the Old Ones, or spirits of ancient priests who began to run off people and demanded that the city be kept for themselves. So to this day, it's sort of known as a haunted ruins that if you do approach, you must approach with caution. Theosophists,
That's actually kind of cool. I'm
That
not
is
gonna
kind of
lie.
cool. I like to think about that place being shut down like a normal everyday mall. Like, I'm sorry, we can't go here anymore. We don't have enough funding. We're shutting down. And then, like, thousands of years later, we're like, ghosts.
I mean,
I don't mean.
not
I'm
really.
not making fun of it. I'm not making fun of it, but I really want to think that that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
No, but
Is that-
okay.
That'd be funny. You gotta admit, that'd be fucking funny. Isn't
That'd
that
be
wrong?
funny if it
My
were
opinion on
true.
paranormal events. My opinion on paranormal events is I've never actually experienced a paranormal event, so I don't have an opinion on paranormal events.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This guy's like, there was a ghost here, me. Okay. I have never experienced something that would convince me that there is a ghost. However, I've also not experienced something that convinced me that ghosts aren't real. So,
Exactly. Me on the other hand, I have, so I'm inclined to believe in the spookiness for spooky season.
The only closest thing I had was, I think, like sleep paralysis.
Demons.
My fan spins by itself on the things that turn my fucking curtains, the blinds. They spin in a circle by themselves.
All right, with that unfun transition.
Theology comes from the idea of theosophism, which is very closely related to Gnosticism, which I'm going to have to make a deeper dive. I mentioned it like 12 times at this point. Theosophism is essentially a combination of several world religions, everything from Judaism to Nazism and everything in between, that says that truth and understanding are at the heart of every religion, and therefore there's something to be pulled out of every religion and hunt for the truth. Where this comes into geology is the idea that both rocks as they are found on Earth can hold these sort of secret meanings and hidden truths, and the idea of catastrophism, which is basically the idea that the world itself is formed through catastrophes, and that without catastrophes, true meaning cannot be known. It's sort of a really deep philosophy that's hard to explain in such a short amount of time, but basically the idea that rocks hold hidden value, and from that we can find the true meaning of existence. Anata.
This is technically true, but only in the sense of that we can find the Earth's history through that. Because it's commonly and widely believed that the Earth was formed through various impacts, just condensing over time to the point where it's just like there was a hellscape on Earth at one point, then it cooled and started raining to the point where there was all this water. So that is true to the extent that is that, or at least it should be true to the extent of the Earth's history, because rocks technically do carry a secret meaning because they hold a whole entire past of where they were, where they came from, and how they got there, you know?
yeah, the whole thing where it's like, you can find divine things. I'm like, how much coke did you
Yeah.
do? How much marijuana?
I don't think
I don't
you
know
can
I don't,
get all these spiritual meanings from rocks, but
how stoned were you? No, I'm not asking if you were stoned.
Bruh. Some girls in a nutshell with those amethyst stones.
Dude, look at the Greeks. Look at these amethysts. They give you divine meaning. That's actually crystal meth.
it'd be like that though.
What's Sonata?
Anata is Anata. Anata your problem.
Is a concept from Buddhism and says that there is no soul as we understand it or self of a person, and instead you yourself or anyone is the manifestation of the spirits or the world interacting around them. In other words, you yourself are not independent and your own creature. You are simply an amalgamation of the universe's energy around you. 40th tithe was kind of hard to.
That's kind of like the Boltzmann Brain idea, except not. Because pretty much you're not your own person, but you are led to believe that, you know? It's pretty much the
Interesting.
same. It's weird how much simulated reality type stuff there is in this, and how much you're not in control type stuff there is in this. It's
Yeah.
specifically this one video. Very interesting.
Of the universe's energy around you. 40th tithe was kind of hard to find any solid information on. The closest thing I could is the concept of teruma, which is a practice mentioned in Exodus in the Bible that's still carried out by several sort of more Jewish traditions, but it's the idea that the priest of whatever temple or system that you're under deserve 1/40th of your earnings to provide for themselves directly. Now, this has been used in a modern sense in much more nefarious ways, and all the information I could find on it sort of hints at priests and pastors using this to sort of steal money from their people beyond what they're already giving. But essentially the concept that higher-ups in religion are demanding a percentage of your wealth for them specifically instead of necessarily the work of God. Polywater.
Well, well, it may not be them specifically, but it may be just for the church because they're not really doing anything to help people.
Yeah.
They're helping the church. They're just like, give us your money, we'll help the church. We're not going to help the homeless, per se. We're not going to help with food drives. We're not going to help with donatable charities. We're going to help the
my churches
church.
did that.
Hmm?
The Christian churches I went to did all the food drive stuff.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there are some churches that are good like that, but there's also a lot that aren't, that will just do nothing.
You want to talk about Catholicism? Like, you don't talk about Catholicism in the Middle Ages.
Exactly.
Because the king has power? Nah, the Catholic Church has all the power.
Knock knock, it's the Spaniards. It's time for an inquisition. Anyway, but yeah, pretty much it's just send me your money and we'll help ourselves. And it's just like I don't like the idea that that God makes you send your money to the church. Like, no, that's not a thing. That's not. If God,
Water.
no,
Many water.
no, I'm not done with this yet.
Many water, Tono. I want many agua.
But yeah, before we get to the poly water, I just want to say I don't like the idea of man-made rules for religions and add-ons like those people that think that gays should not be like being gay is a sin. Like, that's no. And people who think you should give the church your money, no, I'll pass that little basket that they have you put your money in. I'll pass that. I don't even go to church, but I'll pass that if I ever did.
Me who puts a penny in there?
Exactly. They'll still get mad at you for that, probably.
Hey, look, man. I helped you by putting a penny.
You just get a half cent from the 1800s.
It's just like so insignificant that you can't even buy in 100th of the candy bar. You can buy a like.
Exactly. Just put like a tiny piece of copper in the basket. Like, that's it.
Just a tiny piece of copper ore.
It's not even forged, so you can't really do anything with it. Anyways, multiple water.
Yeah, many
was
water.
a theory that was derived by Russian scientists in the 80s.
Nice.
And it's the idea that by running water through capillary tubes over and over, you can create a sort of mini water, which is just water compressed in the same space that one water molecule would normally be, creating a sort of thick, viscous type of water that both has a higher boiling point and lower freezing point, as well as containing more hydrogen and oxygen given its surface area. While since this has been sort of proven as pseudoscience, the theory goes to say that Russia invented it as a sort of way to invigorate their troops because you could get the same sustenance out of water in a much smaller amount, meaning that preservations were easier to carry. Furthermore, it goes on to say that Russia has beat us scientifically in more ways than the US would like to think. HGPD funded.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like with the myth that carrots help your eyesight. It's like, don't get me wrong, they do, but it's so insignificant that it doesn't matter.
The polywater thing, you can condense atoms. You know, I think a lot of people forget about that kind of stuff. I would like to explain something. I would like to explain a science to you. Mass. So, the science of math is that no matter how many particles you condense into one space, the amount of mass you have is exactly the same. what does this entail? Well, mass has weight, and weight makes things heavy. So, for example, if I were to condense the entirety of the universe into one thing the size of a period, do you know how heavy that period would be?
Yes.
It would puncture through the entire universe itself. Of course, it is the entire universe, right? So the idea that, oh, it makes it much easier to carry, yes and no. Because imagine you're carrying a canteen of water that has the mass of 4 canteens of water. Do you know how heavy that would be?
Exactly.
That's my only issue with this theory.
I'm not gonna
Yes.
rant about water towers, but it's very similar to how water towers work, because with the rings that you need to put around water towers, it's because the mass condenses the deeper you go in the water. So because of that, you have to have more rings to hold said water because of the pressure. So
Oh,
yeah.
well, this is cool. Again, in
No.
in mass production, you still have this same amount of weight. In fact, it might be harder because it's smaller, right? So I don't know. That's all I wanted to say.
has beat us scientifically in
mass.
more ways than the US would like to think. HGP defunded is in reference to the Human Genome Project. From 1990 to 2003, a collaboration of the world's best scientists were put together in something called the Human Genome Project. The purpose of this was to determine the properties of the base pairs of DNA that all DNA was made up of, or basically the GCAT that pretty much everyone's familiar with now. While officially the HGP was ended in 2003 because it was simply complete, the theory says that they instead lost funding and research was made up in order to make the public think that everything went well, and a lot of our understanding about DNA base pairs is simply filler for what they were unable.
Oh, ads.
What if smartphones were
You know what
more
I
than
don't
just
like?
smart?
I
all-new Google
I don't
Pixel
like
6.
how Google doesn't even warn you at this point.
Yeah.
Just let me.
What if Google? What if smartphones are more than smart? More than smart. They were dumb. They already are.
Alright, let's unmute this.
Unable.
There.
And a lot of our understanding about DNA base pairs is simply filler for what they were unable to accomplish. Bedort or bidigital O-ring test.
Alright, so that's interesting, but I don't really care for it, you know? Like,
Okay.
just to
what
say,
is
oh,
that
this was
entail?
made up, and then you turn around and see it get applied to actual science. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
And what? You hoping to find the genome that makes you a furry? Like, what the fuck?
No, I don't know about people saying that this information is made up when it's currently being used.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, that one's just kind of dumb, unless I'm not seeing it correctly. But we'll see. We'll see. Comment down below if I'm stupid. Right.
Everyone commenting it.
Yeah. Let's just
Before you said
continue
that,
before I get canceled.
Filler
Oh,
for
no,
what
gets
they were
canceled.
unable to accomplish. Bedort or bidigital O-ring test is a sort of alternative diagnosing method in which the patient puts their fingers together in an O-ring shape, and depending on what the best method is to pull it apart, the doctor can diagnose either their dietary downsides or what diseases they have. It's very similar to iridology, in which it is a very uncouth way of determining people's health problems through a sort of pseudoscience analysis.
Yeah, I don't like that. Stupid. Stupid. Yeah, that's stupid. That's all I need to say.
as you know, making a ring with your finger. It's like, oh, okay, put your hands in a ring. You got AIDS. You got HIV, and it's all from me.
Exactly. Wait. First up, hold up. And secondly, this is as stupid as the look into my eyes and you'll see my health diet.
Look into my eyes, and you'll see. You eat too much fucking bread.
You just need to eat some bread, lad. Like, no, that's not how this works. This is not how you play the game. So, moving on.
Cosmic Butterfly and Rosalind Ballingall is in reference to an event that happened around the University of Cape Town in 1969. At the university, there was a rather well-known group of hippies or anti-war protesters known as the Cosmic Butterfly. From all the research I could find, they were your standard, free love, anti-war peace movement. Nearby, the majority of them lived at a place known as the Sugar House Commune. One of these was a girl from the UK known as Rosalind Ballingall. One day, according to witnesses, she got a Bible which she took on a walk into the woods and was never seen again. Now, there are several weird sort of events surrounding this. For example, why would she, being as anti-religious as the group was known to be, take a Bible with her on a walk into the woods? Furthermore, whenever the family has been tried to be contacted about this event, they refuse to speak on it, as well as local police, who also, I should mention, have lost the police report since it's happened. Also, stories about the day specifically get kind of odd. For example, Rosalind's friends, who supposedly passed her on the way, said that she was staring off in the distance in a sort of trance and just continued walking. Also, her boyfriend, who was the only person who did not help in the search and rescue party, simply sat back at the front steps of their house and played the flute as everyone else looked for her. I should also mention, the garden that she walked into is known as the Garden of Eden and is famous for several occult practicing and rituals that have occurred there. Since then, there have been several reports that as people drive through the area, they see a girl matching Rosalind's description in the back seat of their car, and even stories of children freaking out saying that there's someone sitting in the back seat with them. Theory says that Rosalind was under the influence of a cult and used as a sort of sacrifice, and now her spirit haunts the woods of the Garden of Eden.
And that's the end of the,
that is it for tier.
Yeah, that's the end of the iceberg. First of all, occult stuff, I don't mess with that. Secondly, that is very strange and weird, all the events surrounding it. That is very suspicious. Like, everyone mentioned in that is just suspicious.
That was really weird. Everything was wrong. The family doesn't talk about it. The boyfriend was playing the flute, not looking for her.
The police report was lost. They weren't religious at all. And, like, there's so many details that makes it so weird and suspicious about that whole story. I don't know what to think about that, honestly.
It's sus.
Sus Among Us.
Sus Among Us. Among Us.
But yeah, overall, what do you guys think of the whole iceberg? Or at least this video?
I think that these are hilarious. We need to do this more often.
Yeah.
I also think we shouldn't do it. I also think we shouldn't do them at the undisclosed time. We're doing them for sleeping purposes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go sleep soon, in like 2 minutes. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine, and it's fine. So, any final thoughts before I close off this video?
You know. Oh, I have one final thought. Did you know that I did your mom last night? Whoa. Now you know.
Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, make sure to check out Wendigoon. The original video and the link to his channel will be in the description and the end card at the end of this video. Make sure you subscribe to these 3 people shown down here. Make sure you subscribe to the Dragon Man's YouTube and Twitch. The Wort Man YouTube and Twitch, and FamSolid.
Subscribe to Wort the Warrior, and don't subscribe to Politicus on Twitch because he doesn't ever stream.
Exactly, which is why I'm going to advertise his Twitch. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
I've done a couple of streams. Comment on my videos if you want me to stream. All right,
yeah, make sure to go comment in his latest video if you want him to stream or not. And
What
we'll-
is that latest video? I don't know. This is probably gonna be uploaded in 2 goddamn months, and last time that's what happened. So I'm not gonna tell you.
Exactly. And with that, we'll see y'all later. Guten Tag.